All right, everyone, welcome to the Ari Lewis Show here out of Jerusalem, Israel. We appreciate everyone for tuning in and for following us on YouTube. If you have any questions, you can email me at arilewishow@hotmail.com. Happy to answer anything that you'd like to talk about, any topics. I'm happy to do that. We have a very special guest on this program this afternoon. Her video went viral all over the Internet. I believe it's about 40 million views approximately. And we're going to talk about not just that video, but her career in general. So please give a warm Ari Lewis Show welcome to Shoshana Roberts. Shoshana, how you doing out there?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for talking with me.
It's our pleasure. So I did some research about this video you in that went viral, and you actually got involved by answering a Craigslist ad, correct?
Correct, yep.
So
I just called up.
What's interesting about that is you don't think if you answer a Craigslist ad that you're going to be in a video that 40 million people are going to watch.
I did not expect that at all. I'm an actress, so I've auditioned for many an ad that say, let's make a viral video. You never actually expect it to go viral. You just want to make connections and get some footage for your acting reel.
Right. So this is more than you imagine. And I want to know, first of all, has it helped your career? Has it opened doors? Because it's 40 million people seeing you, and now, I mean, the whole world knows about you. Is it helped you, or do you think it will help you even more down the road?
I think, first of all, yes, it has helped a bit so far. I have a few things in the works. I'm talking about an advertisement contract with a pepper spray company.
Oh, nice.
So hopefully that comes through. I'm waiting on the contract from their lawyers. And then I had a little video, a comedic video on what not to do at your office holiday party that people had called me up for as a result of seeing me in the video. Granted, I utilized acting skills for the video, but you didn't actually get to see my actual talent.
Right, because the video that went viral, you're not doing any talking, you're just walking. So how was that for you as an actress? Because you're used to speaking and using those type of skills, and here you don't talk. So how was that different for you?
Well, yeah, all I did was walk down the street, basically. Right. That was my involvement with this video. And I was using all these acting skills because, okay, a lot of walking down the street or a lot of walking anywhere, observing people, you look at nonverbal cues.
Right.
And I've had classes, movement for the actor, and I recall a specific class where we were intertwining the whole classroom of people and on maybe a gymnasium or whatever open space we were using. And we were instructed to walk so you don't make eye contact with people, and so nobody notices you. And we transitioned through different times, and at one point, okay, make eye contact with a few people, feel free to smile. And then at a later time, we were told, okay, walk as if you were walking on clouds and you want everyone to notice you. I mean, this is directly from my acting training. I am a friendly person. I generally walk down the street saying hello to everybody, and I nod, and people think I'm strange for doing it, which is quite ironic with this video.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you sound like a very friendly person, and that's a great point about your nonverbal cues, because in the video, you don't have a smile, and part of that idea is to show in the video, I don't really feel like talking to anyone, yet people talk to you anyway. That's the idea behind it, right?
Yeah, and I didn't even hear a lot of the comments. I have worked 24 years to develop this brain of mine, so I was using it as I walked. I was thinking about different things. What a strange concept, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
I've a history of sexual assault, multiple experiences, unfortunately, starting in middle school. And so I was thinking about all these unfortunate occurrences that have happened to me in the past as I was walking. So people are criticizing me for not responding, as well as being rude. They say, I don't even hear half the comments. It's not even nonverbal cues. it's ridiculous.
We're again being joined by Shoshana Roberts. Now, one of the things of the video I find very interesting is the way it was recorded was you were holding weights, like hand weights, and that's what picks up all the conversation, right?
Those were two recording devices. They were microphones, and we covered them with a piece of cloth so they would be unable to be seen because nobody knew we were recording. The creator of the video, Rob Bliss, he had a camera, a GoPro, attached to his back, and we had a T-shirt over it with a hole cut in it for the lens to be able to see through. So no one was aware we were recording. He walked and I followed, and that was it.
It was, again, a very well done video because people, I think, forget. It looks like someone has a camera like it's a TV shot, and I don't think people realize it was in a backpack and they're doing all this hidden work. Did it kind of feel like a little bit James Bond-esque what you were doing because you had to be secret about it being filmed?
Yeah, I mean, it's perhaps maybe James Bond people will call me up and I can be in their next movie.
You're that Bond girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to tell you that the weirdest part, there were a couple of freaky parts of the video. I mean, I wasn't in it, so it's all the more so weird for you, but the guy that walks right by you and doesn't say anything for 5 minutes, I was totally creeped out. I want to know what you were thinking. Were you thinking of saying at some point, okay, hey, stop, there's a camera right there, leave me alone? Like, how close were you to breaking character, if you will? Because that was really weird what that guy was doing.
Yeah, I was extremely frightened. And at first I tried to rationalize my thinking. I was like, okay, maybe he's just walking the same way as me. It became clear when you don't see the full 5 minutes, but I would speed up and Rob was unaware that someone was doing that to me until afterward. We took a break and I told him. He was unaware. So I'm the only person who knows this is going on. To someone walking by us, I'm sure it would look like we were walking together, in fact, when this is a complete stranger who I feel threatened by. And you don't know how fast these situations are going to escalate. As I said, I've been sexually assaulted, and I was freaking out. Luckily, I have martial arts training. I've been doing martial arts since I was 9. I have a black belt in Taekwondo, a brown belt in the Temijitsu. I've done stage combat. I've done a little judo and Krav Maga, actually.
Nice.
So I have a well-rounded actual martial arts training for show and for use on the streets. So I was in my mind thinking about if I should go for the kneecaps or the sternum because I was freaking out. I thought I would have to use my training. Fortunately, I did not, but I was almost like a deer in headlights, I feel like, because I probably should have taken action. I was just so scared. There was someone stabbed last month for not giving someone her phone number.
Yeah, it's a scary situation, and Kokomo to you for handling it like a professional, because I know that was certainly not from experience, but I could tell it was not easy. You could tell that you were uncomfortable in the video. Now, also what's interesting with the video is it's been parodied by everybody. I mean, there's a video of a Jewish guy walking in New York, and people offered him prayer books, and then there's a video of a guy in Italy. There was one of a drag queen in Los Angeles, like a little bit of everything. How does that make you feel? Are you kind of, hey, that's cool, they're mimicking what I'm doing, or do you think you guys really are missing the point of this video? This is not a funny situation. So what were your thoughts about the different videos they made because of your video?
Each video actually elicits a different response from me. Some I was quite amused by. I was audibly laughing, and I am one who can find humor in different situations, and that's how we cope with things. We make light of it, and we are able to laugh at ourselves. Granted, it shouldn't take away from the message, but I think it helps propel the message so more people were aware of it. Each video was presented to a different community, to a community of video gamers, to a community of of my people, of Jewish people, of people who are each was so specific that I feel like they were able to reach out and get to more people. Some of them were not as nice as others, but I guess it did what we wanted. It kept the conversation and it kept giving it momentum. So it was able to be something that is now more widespread. It's talked about instead of behind closed doors. It's public discussion now. And I mean, this is not a new issue. This is something that people have been dealing with for a very long time. And there are so many different issues. So it's amazing that we were able to have any notoriety about in regards to the video, because there are so many important things going on right now. I mean, I'm in New York, and the Eric Gardner case is extremely important right now, and I've been following all of the protests. People are laying down in the streets because they want to get the word out that Black Lives Matter, and there are other protests for other. I mean, there's so many different issues right now. The fact that this is in the mix is amazing, because you can't rank victims. I mean, everyone has their own baggage and suffers in their own way, but it's nice to know that we can help lots of different people for what they are dealing with.
Again, you're listening to the Ari Lewis Show. Our guest is Shoshana Roberts. Now, I want to talk about all the different shows that have talked about this video. And you were on BBC News. You were on with Anderson Cooper on CNN, and Fox News has talked about you. Again, what was that like? Because, as I mentioned, you just answered a Craigslist ad. You walk down the street. 40 million people later, you're on all these TV shows. And you're on my show, too, which is also cool. But the TV shows must have been certainly something special for you. So talk a bit about that experience.
I was extremely impressed that these people who I respect as a person themselves, as well as their talents in the media, I was impressed that they wanted to talk to me. I was shocked. And I was so excited. I didn't get paid for any of that. I was doing it just to get the word out, and I did not even know how to react. I unfortunately have had a lot of physical and mental difficulties as a result of this video, but everyone was so wonderful to me. It was just a whirlwind, a tornado of media, and I went from one interview to the next, and people pay lots of money for assistants to schedule everything, but it was just my boyfriend and I doing this all ourselves. We didn't have any assistance. I guess Hollaback wasn't prepared for the response either.
Wow, so this is you and your boyfriend setting up these interviews. I mean, they contact you, and then you have to set up times to do them. It's not like you had an agent to do it. This was you guys.
Yeah, I mean, initially I went into the Hollaback office because I did not know what to do. The media, I mean, within 12 hours we had 1 million views, and I was frozen. I was reading the negativity initially, and I didn't know how to react. I wanted to have a discussion with each of these ridiculous and wonderful people on the internet. So I ended up going into the Hollaback office, and I would be handed a phone, do an interview, be handed another phone. I just kept giving interview after interview. Emily and I would pass the phones back and forth giving interviews. But then the second day, when we hit however many million views we hit on the second day, my boyfriend actually took work off, and I would do an interview on the phone in the car, because these studios, I didn't feel safe at the time because I had a lot of death threats. So they were very accommodating with providing me transportation. And I would do an interview on the phone, get out, do an interview with one studio, walking down the street, and then walk into another studio to do another recording. It was more than I could have ever imagined, and I did think about the fact, maybe this could help kickstart my career a little bit. So if nothing else, I gain a little name recognition.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, CNN and Anderson Cooper and BBC.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
It's incredible. Now,
I was very shocked, but I was happy I was able to help. I mean, if my story helped even one person, then I'm so glad I did it, because I know there are people who are afraid to speak up. Again, and I hate bringing up the sexual assault, but it's true. I haven't even told people about some of the events that I should have brought to the police's attention.
And let's talk about that aspect, because I work at a radio station in Tel Aviv, and when this video came out, there's also a girl named that's a coincidence, but that's her name, from New York also. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize that New York City, it's like that for women. And she's like, oh, it's like that everywhere. And I said, oh, you mean in the bigger cities? And she's like, no, it's like that everywhere. It happens everywhere. So I think that's what something the video did, was it brought attention and conversation to that. And did you find that this happens to you generally, even when you're not, recording and walking for 10 hours, just in general, that these type of experiences occur with these catcalls?
Yeah, that was a daily event for me. I have been walking down a main street in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, where I went to college, and I was wearing rain boots, sweatpants, a big bushy coat, and someone yelled out their car window, "Slut" at me. I was the only person around. They couldn't have been yelling it to anyone else. It was directed at me. There's no doubt in my mind. And I have no clue why. And that's a population of almost nothing there. It was craziness. And even on my way to Yom Kippur, I was dressed for shul. I was dressed as if I was going to a conservative shul, but I was dressed as if, I could have walked into an Orthodox shul the way I was dressed, and people were still commenting on my appearance and what they wanted to do to me and all these disgusting things. And it was Yom Kippur. Like, I was trying to think about the past year, and it was just the most inappropriate time that this happens. Yes, sometimes we're not doing anything else, but it still affects us even if we put it to the back of our mind. It happened when my grandfather died and I was walking down the street.
Wow. And that's a thing I want to get to, because one of the anti-videos, because you had parody videos that were funny, then you had anti-videos saying, but was it really harassment, what happened, and blah, 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 blah. I just want to get your comment. I mean, I thought that was absurd, but since you're the star of the video, I mean, people that said that was not harassment, saying that it was over-exaggerated, that type of thing. I mean, what would be your response to that?
Everybody reacts to comments differently. The fact that we had an overwhelming amount of thank yous means that my story is not unique, and a lot of people react the same way I do, where we push it to the back of our mind. Yes, not all forms, like, I want to be able to interact with people. I go down the street and I talk with people. That's the way I am, and people think I'm very strange for doing it, which is really interesting, because they're saying, oh, this person is just saying hello. What, you don't want to let people interact and have human communication? But the thing is, these people aren't saying hello to everyone. They specifically pick just who they want to, and they want my attention, I guess. I don't know what they expect me to do, because they're not talking to me with respect. There's a way you can say hello and good morning with a different intonation, where I know that you're being respectful, and at the same time you can say the same words in a different way. And you can look me up and down and use your eyes, or undress me with your eyes, I guess would be a better way to say it.
Right.
And it's just a totally different intention, with the intonation and the nonverbal cues. We're back to nonverbal cues.
Yeah, because that's the key. I think that if a guy, let's say, wants to start a conversation with a woman and maybe try to ask her out, but the thing is, if the woman is not smiling or you can tell she doesn't want to talk, that's supposed to be a nonverbal cue that, hey, this conversation's over and we need to move on, right?
Yeah.
So
without a doubt. You have to pay attention to how someone's reacting. And I don't think it's that people aren't noticing the way women react. I think it's that they're ignoring it. They're deliberately wanting to put their 2 cents in and say, oh, it's just a compliment. No, it's not. It is. Well, at least to me it's not. Again, everyone reacts differently, and people view each interaction differently. The thing is, it's so situation specific. It's so hard to make blatant statements on the subject, or on any subject, I guess. There's so many blanket statements that don't apply in specific situations.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the phrase "damn that ass" just is not that nice. It doesn't sound like a compliment to me. I don't know. I mean, that's my take.
No, it's not a compliment to me either. I'm with a Mr. Michael Rubin, and he is the only person who I find that I would not get offended with him talking about my rear end.
Right.
I mean, my penis is off limits. So.
There you go. I mean, I don't understand what the guy thinks the woman's going to say back. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'll go to coffee with you. I mean, I don't know what's supposed to happen after that. I guess chivalry might have fallen by the wayside. Now, also part of this, and I want this to get out there because not everybody knows, you were talking about the death threats, and I mean that's appalling. But why? I mean, why would people threaten your life because of a video?
I wish I knew why. I walked down the street. That is essentially all I did. Yes, I'm speaking up and talking about my reaction, and I guess that shows we have a nerve, the fact that it makes people uncomfortable that I'm doing this, that I'm letting them know how I feel. But they want to hurt me, I guess, for walking down the street. It is absolutely ridiculous, and I have been extremely scared. Luckily, I have a pretty thick skin, but I'm human. I'm not a robot. They do affect me. I don't let them affect me to the full extent that these people probably desire, but there were some very specific ones that gave days even. I was given specific dates on the calendar. I was given anti-Semitic things, actually, as well.
Now,
I was told to climb up on a cross.
These threats, is it that they're writing on like Facebook or phone calls in person? How is it coming about from these people, if you want to call them people?
Well, I'm not reading the ones online. That's where, unfortunately, all the rape threats came. Oh. But I have my loved ones who informed me as to what was going on, just so I was in the know. But I have my acting website. Easy to find, and the people online found it extremely quickly, ShoshanaBRoberts.com. I'm willing to share it. But so there's a little box on it under the contact section, and you can write your name, a subject, and you can write in a box. And they don't have my email, but that forwards to one of my emails, so I can go through and check them. So these are threats going directly to my inbox, and I did speak with and forward them to a police detective at my local precinct. So, but I never heard a response, I guess. These people also made fake emails, so it's really hard to track people down, because I'm sure this person does not use jizzjizz@yahoo.com for their daily emails.
I would hope so. Now, if there's anything that our audience could do, I mean, we can write, if you want, our listeners can write emails to the precinct or anything, any support, because that you need to be getting a call back about that complaint. I mean, the police, did you feel that when you went to the police they didn't take it that seriously, or do you think they took down the information and they just haven't gotten back to you yet?
It's all situation specific. There were some who were very nice and took down my information, but they were telling me the extent of what they can do. They initially didn't want to file anything because they were saying it couldn't really do anything, but I wanted something in writing just so they knew that I approached them because I did feel unsafe. I mean, I had specific things. People wanted, one person wrote that they wanted to get on a plane and slit my throat. Now, it was comforting that the fact that they had to get on a plane before they could do it.
Yeah.
But these were very specific and vague threats, and sometimes the vague threats are even scarier than the specific ones because you don't know what these people are capable of or what they would be willing to do.
Right.
So I know there was follow-up because a couple weeks after I filed the police report, a detective called me, and that's when I forwarded the emails. So there was some follow-up, and perhaps they are doing things. I know that it's a very volatile time for police.
Yeah, New York,
but
for sure.
there were some very wonderful people who were helping, but there were other people who, when I was very distraught when I went in, and I made the mistake of going by myself. Fortunately, my boyfriend came to meet me eventually, but that was only after I was sobbing on the floor in tears because the policeman who had my phone was, I was saying how there were thousands of messages because he was like, I need a specific message. And I was like, I can give you my phone. So, like, I don't want to read these messages. Like, I don't want to hear the death threats. So I handed them my phone. And the guy's going through and patronizing me saying, oh, this person just wishes you a good night. Oh, this person just wants to tell you you're beautiful. And it was ridiculous. I was on the floor in tears. Luckily, someone else took over at the desk, but I was just infuriated.
Now, how was
but
it
again, it's the blanket statements are difficult because there are so many wonderful people and so many awful people, and it's all person specific.
The ironic thing about it is you're doing a video talking about harassment, and then people say, "Hey, how dare you do that? I'll harass you." I mean, I don't get the point of these. I don't get what they're doing. Well, I'm sorry you're going through that and had to go through that, but it is you did do a wonderful thing by getting the message out there. And also, I'm curious we're talking about some of the benefits you may see with your acting career. What about your social life? Do you walk into maybe a synagogue or a different event in New York City and they say, "Oh, that's the girl from the video"? Has that happened at all?
I smile a lot, and I think that's why people aren't recognizing me because I am a very smiley, extroverted, giggly person, and in the video, I'm very somber, and I guess I look quite aggressive, which is the purpose of what we wanted. But people aren't recognizing me. Once I mention it to them, they're like, "Oh, that was you," and people get very excited, and everyone that I've encountered in person is supportive, but I'm very hesitant to mention it to people because I am still scared. I am still receiving, not as many, but I'm still receiving rude people tweeting at me and sending messages. I just got a nice little email forwarded from my website saying, from someone named You Suck, saying the message is "You suck" from yousuck@gmail.com or whatever.
Well, at least it's clever. At least it's clever, Shoshana, right?
Right? I know. These people are just so witty. It astounds me.
I think that guy went to Yale. I'm surprised it wasn't Yale.edu instead of Gmail, but
yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I'm not sure if it was Gmail, but it was so ridiculous. So I'm hesitant to mention it, but my boyfriend and I had a Halloween party right after it happened, just to sort of cool down in the midst of the storm. And initially, before the video was released, I was worried nobody was going to come to our party. Yeah, well, we had a packed apartment.
Nice.
So it was funny, but I mean, it's pretty much returned to normal. I'm still doing interviews clearly as my schedule allows and as my mental strength allows. But it's slowed down a lot, and I mention it once I know that people are nice. As I said, I talk to everybody in my daily life. I was shopping the other day for winter boots, and I ended up talking with these twins sitting next to me, a male and a female, and they were conversing with me because I approached them for an opinion. And it turned out that they were just so wonderful and nice, and I gave them my card to keep in contact, since one was in a media industry and one was in the same entertainment industry as me. And it turned out the girl was saying, I emailed you. You interviewed for my magazine or whatever. It was really funny. So
nice.
it's a small world, and I do have lots of wonderful people who have talked with me, but I'm very hesitant to mention who I am if I have not talked with someone prior.
For sure, and I definitely understand that. Again, you're joining Ari Lewis Show with Shoshana Roberts, and Hanukkah is right now occurring. Are you doing anything fun for Hanukkah this week at all?
Yeah, I forgot to say when we got on, I tagged some ass.
Yeah,
I completely forgot. I was actually just babysitting for a family. I babysit so I can eat in the midst of my acting career. And I went with a family. Both of the parents were going to the HAS, Association of Jewish Studies Conference in Baltimore, Maryland. And I encountered so many people. And I mean, everyone's wearing kippot and everyone's an academic on Israel and the history of Israel, so it was actually an interesting place to be the week before Hanukkah started. And I was actually on my way back from Maryland with them, and we drove home fast, and I was still with them, so they invited me into their house and the dad's parents, and I was with this family I babysit for, and their cousins and their aunts and the grandparents for the first night, which was very wonderful. I was able to spend some dreidels with the kids, and it was a wonderful way to come back. And then because I hadn't seen Michael since I left on the trip to babysit, I then was able to light candles with him once I got home at our own apartment.
And you have an Israel connection as well, right? We were talking about that?
I do. My parents, they were in Haifa in the 80s, and my brother Chaim was actually born in Haifa.
Nice.
My sister Tamar and I were born in the States, but my Ima and Abba made Aliyah. I mean, they wanted to stay there, and unfortunately my dad has a lot of health issues.
Oh,
so the doctors advised him to come back to the States.
Oh, okay.
But they miss it and they love it and they visit. And I was able to go on birthright, which was a short but sweet time. And I intend on returning soon as my bank account allows me to.
And see, now, after this interview gets out, then all the people will say it was a Zionist plot for the video. You know, they'll come up with something else now.
There are lots of critiques. A lot of people have, what's one of the big ones? People think I'm racist, because they seem to think that I came up with the idea of the video. They seem to think that I edited the video. And I can attest, it's my story. No one race or religion or culture harasses me. Everybody harasses me if they have a penis. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I'm trying to think there are other crazy critiques too, but I actually didn't see the footage for this. I don't know how many people are familiar with the entertainment industry, but I guess not as many as I thought, because people are saying all these things, and I'm an actress. I don't get to edit the video. I don't get to see the footage. I get to see the final product when it's released to everybody else.
Right, and I don't think people realize that. I think there's a lot that they just don't realize with this video of what you were doing and the message getting out there. And last few minutes with you, you were saying earlier about the pepper spray ad. I just want to say I think that's a genius idea, and I think that if people aren't going to take advantage of the fact that 40 million people saw you and that you're world famous and world known in something, I think that's their loss. But I think the pepper spray, I think that's a good place to start. I think that video will go viral as well.
Yeah, I mean, I hope for the future, but I'm going to be at this acting thing for the rest of my life. So, I want to kickstart my career, but I'll take the jobs as they come. If anybody knows of any acting jobs, I'd actually. So I actually just did a testimonial for my friend who has a wonderful website, Vedic Bites, and he sells courses in Hebrew on for students as well as future homeowners. And then he just had me do a testimonial for him for his wonderful Israeli courses. So,
oh, nice. All right, good. Well,
yeah.
I hope this video
Oren
helps.
Porat. Look up Oren Porat.
Oren Porat. Okay, great. And I hope this video, this interview we're doing right now, will help your career. We're gonna get over YouTube and try to make it go viral. That'd be good for both of us. So hopefully that will work. And I want to thank you for your time today. Again, I know you're very busy. Everyone, go to Shoshana's website, ShoshanaBRoberts.com. You can check out her acting demo, acting reel. Any questions you can write there, but don't write anything rude. If I find that, I'm gonna smack you. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not promoting for anyone out there write anything rude. Write something nice or just don't write. That's all. Can't say something nice, don't say anything at all, is the general saying, right? Is that what we were taught as kids? Shoshana, thank you so much. It's been really great. I'm glad that the audience, my audience, got to learn the whole story, because I think there's a lot of misinformation that occurred with this video, and since you were the star of the video, I thought the good thing to do was have you tell exactly what happened so people have the whole truth about it.
Certainly. Thank you so much. Tודה רבה.
Yeah, yes. And Chag Sameach to you and your family. Happy Hanukkah. And when you come to Israel next, please let me know, and we'll do another interview with B'ezras Hashem. That'd be good.
Sounds wonderful. I look forward to it.
Okay, great. Be well out there. Speak soon.